In the Solve It, you logically examined a series of steps. In this lesson, you will apply logical reasoning to algebraic and geometric situations. In geometry, you accept postulates and properties as true. Some of the properties that you accept as true are the properties of equality from algebra. Take note. Key concept. Properties of equality. Let A, B, and C be any real numbers. The addition property of equality says if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. Similarly, the subtraction property of equality says if A equals B, then A minus C equals B minus C. The multiplication property of equality, if A equals B, then A times C equals B times C. The division property of equality, if A equals B and C does not equal 0, then A divided by C equals B divided by C. The reflexive property of equality, A equals A. The symmetric property of equality, if A equals B, then B equals A. The transitive property of equality, if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. The substitution property of equality, if A equals B, then B can replace A in any expression. Take note. Key concept. The distributive property. Use multiplication to distribute A to each term of the sum or difference within the parentheses. First, in a sum, A times the sum B plus C equals, having distributed A to B and C, or multiplication by A to B and C, that equals A times B plus A times C. And in a difference, A times the difference, B minus C, the multiplication by A gets distributed to both terms B and C to produce the expression A times B minus A times C. You use deductive reasoning when you solve an equation. You can justify each step with a postulate, a property, or a definition. For example, you can use the distributive property to justify combining like terms. If you think of the distributive property as AB plus AC equals A times the sum B plus C, or AB plus AC equals the sum B plus C times A, then 2x plus x equals the sum 2 plus 1, note those are the coefficients of the x terms, times x, and that's 3x. Problem 1. Justifying steps when solving an equation. Algebra. What is the value of x? Justify each step. Well, note the diagram. We have two adjacent angles forming a linear pair. One of the angles measures is indicated as 2x plus 30 degrees, and the other is x degrees. So as we find the value of x, we're going to write the steps on the left and the justification for those steps on the right. First, angle AOM and angle MOC are supplementary. We know that because angles that form a linear pair are supplementary. Next, we can state that the measure of angle AOC plus the measure of angle MOC equals 180. That follows from the definition of supplementary angles. We use substitution to write this as 2x plus 30 plus x, note those are the measures of our two angles, equals 180. That's by the substitution property. That equation becomes 3x plus 30 equals 180 using the distributive property. Subtracting 30 from each side, we arrive at 3x equals 150. That's by the subtraction property of equality. And finally, dividing each side by 3, we find that x equals 50, justified by the division property of equality. Your turn. What is the value of x? Justify each step. Given ray AB bisects angle RAN.